Hello chess buddies, welcome to Amateur Chess University. This is Shiva and today we will analyze a game from Gibraltar Masters 2005 event which was rated by Vishwanathan Anand himself as one of the best chess game he has ever seen. Now this game was played between Daniel Gormley from England, who apart from a great chess champion is also an exceptional writer and published many books on chess, and he was up against Emil Sutowski, an Israeli grandmaster who is known for his flamboyant playstyle. He is also the current FIDE Director General. This game features some wonderful moves, so let's head straight into the game. Daniel here has the white pieces and he begins with e4 going for the king's pawn opening. c5 by Sutowski going for the Sicilian defense. Knight to f3, d6, d4, pawn captures on d4, knight captures the pawn on d4 going for the open variation of Sicilian defense. Black plays knight to f6 targeting the pawn at e4 and white responds with knight to c3. Black plays a6, controlling the square b5, preventing any entry from the two knights as well as the light square bishop. White plays bishop to c4, going for the Lipnitsky attack. e6 by black with further ideas like d5. Here, bishop retreats back to b3, b5 by black going for flank variation with ideas like bishop to b7 and controlling this diagonal. And now white castles in this position on the king's side. Bishop to e7 by black, preparing itself for castling. White queen jumps into f3, targeting this f file as well as controlling this diagonal. The idea here is to push the pawn to e5 next and then targeting this rook at a8. Here black plays queen to c7. Now white cannot move the pawn to e5 because if it does, then black will play bishop to b7, and at this point black has the support of its queen. So after queen to c7, white plays queen to g3, knight to c6 by black. Now white goes for knight exchange, knight capture, queen captures a knight at c6. Now both knight and queen are targeting this e4 pawn. So white plays rook to e1, defending this pawn twice. Now black plays bishop to b7, targeting this pawn as well as this diagonal along with the queen. White plays a3 with further ideas like a4 and trying to develop the rook on the a file. Now rook to d8 by black, positioning itself in the center and also providing support to the pawns in case we further have a move like d5. a4 by white, and finally black castles on the king side. Captures on b5, pawn captures, bishop to h6 by white. The g7 pawn is pinned and it's getting checkmate in the next move. So black plays knight to e8, defending this pawn. Rook to a7 by white, trying to make further progress in black's territory. Black plays rook to a8, going for a rook exchange. Bishop to f4 by white, knight to f6, targeting this pawn. Again bishop back to h6, knight to e8 to avoid checkmate. Bishop back to f4 again, and here black plays b4. This move pushes knight to a2, removing one of the defenders of this e4 pawn. Now black plays knight to e6, again attacking this pawn. Now white again plays bishop to h6. This time the knight didn't play e8, instead it played h5, defending this pawn as well as attacking the queen. The white queen moves to g4, targeting this knight as well as defending this pawn. Now the black queen plays b5, defending the knight. Here white plays f3, providing additional support to the e4 pawn as well as the queen. However, this move opens up the king's diagonal. So here black plays bishop to f6, targeting this b2 pawn. White defends it with rook to b1, bishop to d4 by black, giving a check. The white king cannot move to f1 square as it is controlled by the queen, so it moves to h1, and now the bishop captures the b2 pawn. Here the rook cannot capture the bishop at b2 because if it does so, then white will get checkmate. So after bishop captures on b2, white plays bishop to d2, targeting this pawn at b4. Knight to f6 by black, attacking the queen, and queen moves to g3. In this position, black senses a decisive victory idea. So you can pause the video and try to figure out what is the move that black played in this position. So if you are able to figure it out, well done. The move that black played in this position is d5. So let us see how the game proceeded from here on. Now the bishop at d2 captures the pawn at b4. Pawn captures on e4 by black. c4 by white, targeting the queen, and queen moves to f5. Here, white could have captured the bishop at b2 or the pawn at e4. However, it played bishop captures the rook at f8, knight to h5 by black, again targeting the queen, queen to g4 by white, trying to go for a queen exchange. Here, black doesn't capture the queen. Instead, it plays pawn captures on f3, queen captures on f5, and here black doesn't capture the white queen. Instead, it plays pawn captures on d2, delivering a check to the white king. This pawn at g2 cannot be captured because it is ably guarded by this light square bishop. Now the white king has to make a decision. Now the white king can only move to one position, that is g1. Bishop to d4 by black, delivering a check to the king. Now since the king cannot move to f1 or h1, there is no other option except to bring the white queen for the king's defense. Now black plays knight to f4, and it was in this position on move 36 that Daniel resigned the game, as he can't avoid the checkmate in the next move. Well, if white tries to play something like queen captures the bishop on d4, then black plays knight to h3, delivering a checkmate. Now the king cannot even move to f2 as it is covered by the knight. That's the game. See how well black systematically destroyed this pawn chain of white. Of course, it was aided by some poor decision making from white. But we cannot deny that this move to d5 is a brilliant idea from black. The interesting part of this game is that black kept sacrificing its major pieces. However, it was very clear in its idea to victory. The lesson we learn here is that it is acceptable to sacrifice sometimes to reach your goal. So thank you for watching this video. If you had any interesting, strange or weird moment from this match, feel free to comment below. I would totally love to read it. Until next time, take care. See you.